You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I have got your prediction edition for the week ahead. Chad is fighting his feelings and Stephanie is enraged. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got predictions for Stephanie and Phillip, for Doug 3, for Brady and Rachel, for Leo, Javi, and Lady Whistleblower, and also for Chad and Cat. And if you're not following us, we'd love it if you click that subscribe button. All right, starting with our first prediction, Stephanie finds out about Phillip's forgery and fraud and fakery. So spoilers for Thursday, January 9th, have Phillip and Xander at odds. Again, they're arguing, I'm assuming, over Titan. And on Friday, January 10th, Stephanie rips into Phillip. In the promo, she is standing outside the door at the Titan executive office, and she overhears him on the phone, and then she confronts him yelling that he is a total fraud. And it could be something about him talking to Chloe about their romance that he said was over, but I really doubted. I didn't think Chloe and Phillip were ever going anywhere when they left together anyway. It was just coincidence, really. The only thing that Phillip has been a fraud about lately is the forgery that Vivian carried out, naming him as Victor's desired heir to run Titan, which of course was a big fat lie. And Stephanie went all out to make Phillip look good using her PR skills and to make Xander look bad. And I suspect Stephanie overhears Phillip talking to either Vivian or Kate, and that's why she explodes at Phillip. In the 2025 preview for Days of Our Lives, spoilers said that Stephanie decides Phillip is not the man for her. And that looks like it comes sooner rather than later, because I think she has figured out that he got that half of the company by chicanery. The big question is, can he talk her out of ratting him out to Xander? Can he? That would be pretty interesting. Our second prediction, Doug 3 is beaten up over his unpaid debts by some bad men. So spoilers from like last week before, Doug 3 told Leo he had some serious debts to pay. And that's why he took the necklace. And then it turned around and it sold for less than he expected. And then when Leo handed him the money, Dougie kind of freaked out because Leo, said this was all there was. And it was a big shortfall between what the necklace sold for and what Dougie 3 owed. And he was really, really worried. So on Thursday, January the 9th, a spoiler says Holly tends to Doug 3. And then on Friday, January 10th, Holly presses Doug 3 to come clean and tell her the truth. So tending to someone means they're either sick or they're hurt. Well, I haven't seen Doug 3 sniffling, so my assumption is he is beaten bloody over his unpaid debts. And that also makes sense then for the spoiler where Holly is pressing him to come clean. So she probably is taking care of him after he's injured and then wants to know how he wound up in this shape. So that dude's shady. So it could be gambling debts. It could be a loan shark. It could be something like he borrowed money to pay for his dad's surgery. I don't know. But if his dad's alive, I think his dad's still alive. Doug 2. Anyway, bottom line, Doug 3 is desperate. And if he is beaten, he might do some other shady stuff to get the money to dig himself out of this financial pit. Hopefully, he's going to come clean to Holly and then come clean to Julie so she can help him. Our third prediction, Brady leverages Rachel's crazy texts for joint custody. So, Ava keeps getting these insane and aggressive texts threatening her. Viewers know it's little Rachel Black. None of the adults on the show know that, though. Wednesday, January 8th, Ava is over at the DiMera mansion demanding the truth from Kristen. So Steve had figured out very quickly that the texts were coming from inside the DiMera mansion. And so, of course, Ava assumes that Kristen is the likely culprit, even though she denied it to Brady. So Ava comes over to confront her, and then all heck breaks loose. So Rachel and Kristen are facing off with Ava, who looks completely stunned. And then Kristen pulls her daughter aside and tells Rachel, you can't go around threatening your enemies. And then Kristen's jaw drops when Rachel tells her mom, you do it, which is true. And Kristen is sighing in frustration. And then spoilers for Thursday, January 9th say Brady and Kristen play the blame game. And this is obviously about their out of control daughter. I think Brady might be able to leverage what Rachel has done to Ava to force Kristen to give him joint custody and stop withholding visitations. Literally, maybe Rachel could be tossed in juvie if Ava, pushed it and she was charged with some kind of intimidation, harassment, something like that. But, I really doubt she'd be tossed into kid jail. Ava wouldn't go that far, but it definitely looks bad. And if this went into the custody court and Brady told the judge what Rachel was doing and how she was behaving because Kristen is setting such a horrible example, I do think he might get sole custody. So she may go for joint custody because of this dastardly deed her daughter was doing. Our fourth prediction, Leo and Javi's reunion infuriates the new lady whistleblower. Tuesday, January 7th, Leo patches things up with Javi. They reconcile. In the weekly promo, Leo's asking Javi if it is too late for them. And as they're talking, that guy, creepy Carrie, the one that Javi dated a couple of times, but I don't think did the deed with, slides up on them and just gets really creepier than usual. He's like, well, what have we here? And Javi looks stunned and uncomfortable. So I remain pretty convinced that Carrie is the new lady whistleblower. He's the only culprit that makes sense because he was a lady whistleblower super fan, so he said, and he had access to Leo's hotel room where the scripts were on the laptop. And he seems to basically be trying to make himself into Leo. That's what Carrie seems to be doing by doing the lady whistleblower thing, then turning around and dating Javi. So I do not think this Carrie guy is going to handle a Javi-Leo reconciliation very well. He may do something nutty. He may do something scary. Definitely, probably something nasty in the spectator from the new lady whistleblower after they reconcile. Our fifth and final prediction, Chad is really, really fighting his feelings for Cat. So on Friday, January 10th, Chad and Julie are comforting each other. Obviously, he's devastated that Abigail is really dead. Julie is devastated that Doug has passed on. So lots of grief, lots of comfort. And that same day, Cat is opening up to Marlena. Might be about Katerina, her mom, whom John, Marlena's husband, was suspected of killing. In the promo, we see that Cat is back in Salem as the town pariah. And Julie's talking to Chad and he tells Julie, don't worry, nothing's going to happen between me and Cat Greene. But then there's another scene in the promo where Chad literally bumps into Cat in front of the Salem Inn and there's this whole spark of something between them. I absolutely think Chad will fight tooth and nail against any temptation to be near her, but we know it's not going to work out. Billy Flynn said a romance is happening, whether people like it or not, between Chad and Cat. But I do suspect he'll fight it as long as he can. Not only out of respect for Abby, since Cat was defrauding, pretending to be her, but also because Julie and Jack and Jennifer and JJ and a whole bunch of people will lose it on him if he gets close to this woman.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.